Good afternoon and welcome to the 2022 Division III Rowing Selection Show. I'm your host, Will Haskett. The boats will hit the water in the championship regatta 2 weeks from this Friday, and today we set the field and the lane assignments for that meet. 8 spots have been restored to the meet this year, with 4 automatic qualifiers already in the race and 4 additional at-large berths to hand out today. Those 8 teams will send their boats to Sarasota, Florida at Nathan Benderson Park to compete for a national title. So which teams will be sending those boats to compete in the meet? We find out right now by unveiling all 8 teams. We'll start with the 4 that already know they're going to hear their names called here today. Those are the 4 in with automatic qualification. And we lead off with Ithaca. A victory in the women's varsity 8 at the 2022 Liberty League Rowing Championships earned the Bombers their 4th consecutive team championship title and the automatic berth that comes with it. It is the 4th consecutive Liberty League women's rowing title for the Bombers in their 4th year of participating in the championship. They first joined the conference back in 2017-18. The league team championship title based on a first place showing in the varsity 8 race, but overall, the Bombers won 3 events that day: the varsity 8, second varsity 8, and varsity 4. The 2004 and 5 national champions placed 3rd in the NCAA meet a season ago. They look to return to the top of the sport again here in 2022. They'll be joining the meet by St. Mary's of Maryland. Welcome the Seahawks to the championship regatta for the first time in school history, thanks to one of the closest conference championships we have ever seen. Champions of the mark for the first time in 6 years as a varsity program. They won the varsity 8 race by just 0.3 seconds over defending champion Washington College to get it done. The nose of the boat was the only thing separating the Seahawks from victory, and the captaining of coxswain Aaron Lanham got the job done. The final standings decided by just 1 point, and the Seahawks head to Florida after making history. They'll be there alongside Bates, the 5-time national champions and defending champions of this sport. Returned thanks to a similar feat. They got a 5-peat, did the Bobcats, in capturing the always tough NESCAC championship, which is determined by being the top varsity 8 boat at the prestigious National Invitational Rowing Championships. Bates crossed the line in 3rd, but was ahead of all other conference foes in that meet. They won its heat and ended up 5 seconds behind Ithaca in the championship run, so they know what it'll take to defend the title against the teams that they will see coming up here in Florida. And the final automatic qualifier belonging to Wellesley, the Blue, are back on top of the NUMAC and captured the Florence Jope Smith Cup for the 9th time in a row. They now set their sights on a 2nd national championship to pair with their title from 2016. Katie Bell was the conference's rower of the year, part of a group that went wire to wire in the varsity 8 race, not to mention the 2nd varsity boat as well. That type of depth certainly helps at the national championship meet. The varsity 8 lost by less than a second to Ithaca in that NIRC premier race that we were talking about, so a rematch between the two that you see at the top and bottom of your screen would certainly make for an entertaining NCAA championship meet. All right, now to the 4 at-large participants and some teams anxiously waiting to see if they will hear their names. Wait no longer. 2, Pacific Lutheran, winners of the Northwest Conference for a 6th time. The Lutes have to earn a 6th appearance in the regatta with this at-large selection. No AQ available out west. The varsity 8 arrives in Florida fresh off holding its own against mainly Division II competition at the WIRA meet. The conference meet also saw that boat win in a time of 10 seconds, with 3 rowers earning all conference honors: Clara Forshner, Elizabeth Horner, and Juliana Johnson. This marks the 4th consecutive championship regatta for the program. They finished 4th back in 2016. That remains their best result in the D3 meet to date. Tufts gets a spot as well. We welcome the Jumbos back to the regatta for just the 2nd time in program history. The varsity 8 boat placing 5th in that NIRC meet, which was the 2nd best finish by a NESCAC boat behind only Bates, which got the AQ because of it. The depth behind that boat, though, is something to keep an eye on heading to Florida. The 2nd varsity 8 was 3rd in its grand final in the same meet, while the 3rd varsity 8 was also 2nd in its final. Find the right combo at the right time. This could be a memorable meet as Tufts returns to the championship regatta for the first time in 16 years. And they'll be joined by WPI, the resume for a tournament run solidified in that same meet we've been talking about several times today. The varsity 8 boat for the Crimson and Gray ended up 4th in the grand final, besting a couple of teams we've already announced in this field so far today. Logan Rinaldi, the coxswain in that boat, and while the team won't send a varsity 4 boat to this regatta, they did win in that boat at the NIRC meet, so there are rowers hungry to showcase talents throughout the roster as they head to Sarasota. And that leaves 1 spot remaining, and we say welcome back to the champs. It would be Williams. It's been since 2018 when the Eves last made the regatta, a competition they've won 9 times in all. That's more than any other program in the sport's history. And this season, there are some promising results to suggest another rise to national champion contender is there. They had a head-to-head with Tufts in late April. That produced a win at the 2nd varsity 8 boat. So you never know what things may come and fall into place when it comes to the championship regatta. So there you have the 8 teams. Now, how about those lane assignments when we get to Sarasota for this national championship? The varsity 1 boats on the left side of your screen, the second varsity boats on the right side of your screen. We talked about that incredible performance that came down to the wire between Ithaca and Wellesley. If they are to run again, it will not come in the heats as they both draw lane 3 in the first varsity boat races. And you'll see some cross relationships there between the conferences and some teams that have seen each other. They may have to meet in the finals if it's going to come down to that, trying to qualify out of both the 8th races. And then on the second varsity side of things, between Bates in lane 3, Wellesley gets the honor in lane 3 as well. The 2 top boats getting that draw in lane 3 in the second varsity 8 boats. And there you have it. Who is in and traveling to Florida to compete for a national championship? The action gets underway at Nathan Benderson Park in Sarasota, Florida, coming up on May the 27th. It's hosted by the University of Central Florida and the Suncoast Aquatic Nature Center Association. You will not miss a second of the action as you can watch the races right here on NCAA.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Will Haskett. Congratulations and best of luck to all of the student athletes competing in this year's championship.
There's an energy swelling out beyond the limits of your expectations. A universe where fandom reigns supreme. Once you're in it, it changes you. Instead of one of one, you're one of many. A blissful sea of chaos. Go beyond your limits and enter the NCAA universe. Get your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets.